nice to see you all here. I'm amazed, delighted. Now, I'm going to do something that I don't like doing. The very first thing I'm going to do is read something out to you. And it is rather pertinent for Arts and Literature Society. It's a quotation, and it says, "The poet ranks far below the painter in the representation of visible things, and far below the musician in that of invisible things." Leonardo da Vinci? Good, eh? Now, I'm always bemused by this business of art, literature, the arts, because I regard myself as a musician, but in fact as an orchestral player, we are not really creative. And I'll go into that later, because I know you are dying to ask questions. And I know what one of the questions is always going to be, and that is, how does anybody get into a symphony orchestra? Good question. I'm going to tell you how. I have to give you a bit of background, and I'm sorry, this will sound like a bit of conceit perhaps on my part, because I'm trying to give you a whole picture. To start with, you have to start early. I started at about the age of 6, and I was put to the piano, and I loved it. I loved it. Marvellous. It was kind of like reading. It is kind of like reading. You know, you follow all these instructions, and it kind of comes out as nice noises. Brilliant. When I got to the secondary school, and I'd walloped through a lot of piano exams, and loved it, I found myself in the situation of being tried out for the local youth orchestra as a timpanist. Now, why they sent to the girls' grammar school rather than the boys', history does not relate. Extraordinary. I'm talking 1956. And I have to explain further that a timpanist is the guy, and nowadays the girl or woman, who sits behind those marvellous copper kettle drums, king of all he surveys, yes? The percussion section, they're all percussion instruments, by the way. The percussion section is the rabble at the side that plays everything else. All those boys' toys at the back. And it was the Blackpool Music Festival and the Huddersfield, yes, I'm from Yorkshire, you can tell, can't you? The Huddersfield Youth Orchestra was taking part, and they had lost their timpanist. How do you lose a timpanist? So that we did sound effects. Well, we had one composer who wanted an evil, rubbery noise. Well, I won't tell you what the horn section suggested. Yeah, naughty. So I went off and I bought a bag of balloons, and we blew all these balloons up. Come here, you. And we made our evil, rubbery noise. And we got our timpanist decided he would do these. And we got 2 big bunches of balloons. One went on the rostrum, it was Simon's birthday. And then Pete was doing these, and he's very tall. And he was sitting down, doing this business. Try to do it. Oh, crikey. This is what happens, you see. This is a serious symphony orchestra, you understand. Well, of course, we were beside ourselves. Absolutely beside ourselves. And there's this terrible noise going on, and there's this idiot sitting at the side going, terribly serious, terribly serious. Well, he lost one. One went, and it went. And of course, if a balloon goes over an orchestra, this is what happens. So, the fiddle players were all messing about with these balloons in rehearsal. And then one went, oh! Well, the composer was livid. This is a serious piece. Well, of course it is. Pink and blue and yellow and green in balloons. Of course it's serious. And there was a letter of complaint to the management. Oh, I wish I'd framed it. Oh, I wish I'd framed it. But we didn't. So, that's an instrument. All right, have you got that? Brilliant. And then, the ultimate was a very serious Russian composer. Now, I don't know if you'll all be able to see this. Simon said to us, the lady doesn't speak English, she just speaks German and Russian. So by that, we knew that there must have been words or something, because she was terribly serious. And it was a ghastly piece, and it was the first performance. And she wanted, if I can do it, I have to do the humming first, come on. She wanted this sound. A sort of, like that. So she'd scored this thing. She wanted 3 players, one either side, at the back, and one in the middle. Percussion players. This thing is called a flexitone. I'll describe it to those who can't really see it. It's got a sheet of metal, and it's got 2 springs, one either side, on which there's a wooden ball, and it's a sound effect. You know, a sort of Tom and Jerry sound effect. Are you all right at the back there? I can't see you. But she wanted it played on the edge with a rosined double bass bow, I ask you. So it was... And the protocol in an orchestra is you don't practice anything in the band room. So they'd hired 2 big ones, bigger than this. And my hand isn't exactly little, but we got them before the first rehearsal. So my colleague Annie and myself went down into the ladies' loo and just spent a quarter of an hour laughing, trying to make this stupid sound. I've got to do a big plug for my book. I bet you can't guess what it's called. It's called Wrong Sex, Wrong Instrument. Of course it is. It's very suitable for anybody. You don't have to be a musician. I've had some lovely feedback from people. So if you've got Great Uncle Bulgaria's Christmas present to get, and I'll sign it for you. Thank you very much. You've been a lovely audience. We shall meet again. And I look forward to meeting some of you down here, because I'm going to do a book signing. Youngsters going out of the town hall after a children's concert. I was there in my mum outfit going out alongside them, and I overheard one of the teachers saying to these 8-year-olds, little boys, "What was your favourite bit?" And one little Herbert said, "I like the redhead with the clangers."